3 million Americans just gained access to one of the most powerful wealth building accounts in America, and most of them have absolutely no idea. Because if they use it the way everyone else does, they could be leaving more than $250,000 on the table. Marcus and Jake work at the same company. They earn almost the same salary. They contribute the same $4,400 every year. 25 years later, Marcus has an extra $263,000. Not because he earned more, not because he invested better, not because he got lucky, because he spent 4 minutes making a decision Jake never knew existed. And thanks to changes that took effect in 2026 under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, millions of Americans can now use this exact same strategy for the first time. That's what makes this so important. This isn't really a story about an HSA. It's a story about a hidden wealth system almost nobody understands. And if you're one of the millions who recently became eligible, what you're about to learn could be worth far more than most raises you'll ever receive. That 4-minute sequence, it's at the end of this video. If you leave now, you'll spend the rest of today knowing the gap exists and still not know how to close it. Marcus is 28 years old, normal job, normal income, normal bills. Nothing about his financial life looks extraordinary. When his employer offered a health savings account, he treated it exactly the way most people do. Doctor visits, prescriptions, dental work, the occasional urgent care bill. Money went in, money came out. Simple. Jake did exactly the same thing. A physical in March, dental cleaning in June, new glasses in September. A specialist visit in November that cost more than he expected. For several years, their accounts looked almost identical. If you looked at their balances, you would never guess that a massive wealth gap was already beginning to form. Then something happened. During an open enrollment meeting, Marcus asked a question nobody else in the room asked. Can I invest the money inside the HSA? The HR representative looked at him like he'd asked whether the health plan covered time travel. She said she'd look into it. She never followed up. So Marcus looked it up himself, and what he discovered completely changed how he viewed money. Because the HSA isn't really a healthcare account, at least not if you understand how the system works. It's a tax shelter disguised as a healthcare account. And that's where everything changes. Before we go further, let's talk about why this matters more in 2026 than it did a year ago. Because a year ago, millions of Americans weren't even allowed to play this game. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act expanded access to HSA-eligible coverage for millions of people. Marketplace users, many self-employed workers, people using newly qualifying health plans. For a huge number of Americans, this strategy simply wasn't available before. Now it is. Which means millions of people just gained access to a financial tool that could quietly become one of the most valuable accounts they own. The problem? Most people will use it exactly the way Jake does, and that's where the wealth gap begins. Jake sees his HSA as a spending account. Medical bill arrives, he pays it from the HSA. Prescription, HSA. Dentist, HSA. Eye exam, HSA. Everything seems logical. After all, that's what the account is for, right? Technically, yes. But Jake is unknowingly destroying the single most powerful feature of the account: compounding. Because every dollar he spends today is a dollar that never gets invested, never gets a chance to grow, never gets a chance to compound, never gets a chance to become dramatically larger in the future. And Jake doesn't realize it, because the loss is invisible. No warning appears, no notification pops up, no statement arrives showing what that money could have become. The opportunity simply disappears, quietly, year after year. And that's why most people never notice the mistake until it's too late. What Jake also doesn't know, his employer deposits $600 into his HSA automatically every January. Jake has never thought about that money separately. It just lands in the same cash account, earns the same 0.35%, and gets spent on the same routine bills. It is free money being treated like spare change. Marcus eventually discovered what separates average HSA users from wealthy HSA users. Most Americans think the account has one tax advantage. It doesn't. It has three: tax-free going in, tax-free growth, tax-free withdrawals for qualified medical expenses. No Roth IRA does this. No traditional IRA does this. No 401k does this. Only one account combines all three: the HSA. The moment Marcus understood that, he stopped seeing the account as healthcare money. He started seeing it as investment money, with healthcare privileges attached. That shift changed everything. And here's the part most people learn about too late. There's no deadline on HSA reimbursements. A receipt from a 2026 medical expense can be submitted for tax-free withdrawal in 2044, in 2051, whenever Marcus decides. There is no time limit written anywhere in the IRS code. The money keeps compounding. The reimbursement right keeps waiting. Marcus is building an account that grows like an investment portfolio and can be liquidated tax-free at any point, because he kept paper records of expenses that already happened. The 4-minute move that changes all of this? That's coming next. Marcus logged into his HSA portal. That was it. That was the big secret. 4 minutes. He changed one setting. Instead of leaving future contributions in cash, he invested them. Broad market index funds. Nothing exotic. Nothing complicated. No stock picking, no market timing, no predictions, just long-term investing. Then, he ignored it. The entire decision took less time than most people spend deciding what to watch on Netflix. And 25 years later, it changed everything. Let's assume Marcus contributes $4,400 per year, the maximum individual HSA contribution for 2026. Not a huge amount, not unrealistic. Let's assume an average long-term market return of 8%. Nothing extraordinary, just the type of return many investors use when planning long-term wealth accumulation. After 25 years, Marcus's HSA grows to approximately $347,000. Now let's look at Jake. Same $4,400 contribution, same employer, same account, same timeline. But Jake continuously spends the account balance whenever medical expenses arise. His ending balance? Approximately $84,000. Marcus, $347,000. Jake, $84,000. Difference? $263,000. Same opportunity, different behavior. That's the power of compounding when taxes stop slowing it down. And here's the uncomfortable part. Jake never made a bad decision. He made the normal decision, the decision almost everyone makes, which is exactly why this hidden wealth system is so powerful, because most people never recognize it. Here's the fascinating part. Jake isn't irresponsible. Most people watching this would have done exactly what Jake did, because humans naturally optimize for convenience. The HSA card is right there. The bill arrives. The easiest solution is to swipe the card. Instant relief. Problem solved. But convenience and wealth rarely travel together. Marcus eventually started asking a different question. What if paying a $200 bill today costs me thousands of dollars in future compounding? What if the easiest decision is also the most expensive decision? What if every dollar I spend today has a hidden future value nobody is showing me? Those questions completely changed how he viewed the account. And once he saw the system, he couldn't unsee it. That's true of most wealth-building opportunities. The biggest advantages rarely look exciting. They're usually hidden behind boring decisions repeated consistently for decades. Nobody brags about automatically investing inside an HSA. Nobody posts about it on Instagram. Nobody shows off their contribution settings at a dinner party. And yet those boring decisions often create enormous financial outcomes. If you recently became eligible because of the new rules, here's where to start. Step 1. Log into your HSA portal today. Find the investment option. It's usually under a tab labeled Invest or Manage Investments. Step 2. Move whatever balance exceeds your typical 3-month medical costs into the lowest cost index fund available. Step 3. Set future contributions to invest automatically above that threshold. Set it once and move on. Step 4. Keep receipts for every medical expense you pay out of pocket. Photograph them, store them anywhere. They never expire. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to maximize every contribution. You don't need a complicated spreadsheet. You simply need to understand what the account actually is, because most people never do, and that misunderstanding becomes expensive. But the strategy is only half the story. Here's what actually separates the two groups long term. The HSA story isn't really about healthcare. It's about awareness. Marcus didn't discover a loophole. He didn't find a secret stock. He didn't beat Wall Street. He didn't predict the future. He simply understood the rules. And that's how wealth often works. The largest advantages aren't hidden because they're secret. They're hidden because most people never think to look. Millions of Americans just gained access to this opportunity. Most will never recognize it. A small percentage will. And over the next 25 years, the gap between those two groups will become enormous. One group will continue seeing the HSA as a healthcare account. The other will recognize it as a hidden wealth-building system. The account is the same. The rules are the same. The outcome is not. The question isn't whether the account exists. The question is whether you'll recognize what it actually is. Because 25 years from now, the difference between knowing and not knowing could be worth $250,000. Jake didn't lose $263,000. He just never knew it was there. This is the Ben factor.